us, man. Quit playing, man. I looked at you like a little brother, and then I ain't really that mad at you because you just a little easily influenced. Like I'm really mad at that Floyd because he got you doing this.
Cover.
Oh, okay.
But in a real fight time with 8-ounce gloves on, bye.
The thing about Tank is just assuming he's going to be able to step up and fight an A-level guy. He's never even fought a B-level guy. He's never even unified. And not only is he fighting these low-level guys.
Recent events have ignited a major controversy in the boxing world following Gervonta "Tank" Davis's latest fight against Lamont Roach Jr. In the aftermath, Adrien Broner stepped forward to share his strong belief that the fight was rigged, insisting that Roach was unfairly denied a well-earned victory. Adding to the storm, Floyd Mayweather also addressed the issue, stepping in to reveal the truth behind the growing scandal.
If this kid said he'd been training every day, for years, every day in boxing, I'm somewhere in Aruba, in the Bahamas, in Dubai, I'm traveling the world on my jet, making millions.
Gervonta Davis's rise from the tough streets of Baltimore to becoming one of boxing's most electrifying superstars is nothing short of remarkable. Known for his ferocious knockout power and magnetic charisma, Davis rapidly climbed the ranks, securing multiple world titles across different weight classes. His partnership with Floyd Mayweather's promotional company significantly elevated his status, positioning him as a possible heir to Mayweather's legacy. However, as Davis's career flourished, tensions began to surface. Adrien Broner, who had once been a close mentor, felt increasingly pushed aside as Davis grew closer to Mayweather's camp. When asked about Davis leaving Mayweather Promotions, Broner's curt response, "I don't care," subtly revealed the underlying friction and unresolved feelings between them.
No, I haven't talked to him about it, but we talked about it before. We talked about it a few times, but now that he is doing his own thing, I hope the best for him, I hope he is as big as the world. I don't care, I just want to do good.
He keeps alluding that there was something wrong there, that he wasn't happy with the support that he was getting. Is there something there from what he's saying, from what your relationship with him?
That's not really for me to come out and talk about. I'll wait until he's comfortable with saying and letting people know his business. But now that he's on his own, I hope it Lord.
Adrien Broner and Gervonta Davis once shared a deep brotherhood that went far beyond boxing. Broner, a former multi-division world champion, took Davis under his wing during the formative years of his career, often referring to him affectionately as his little brother. Over time, however, their close-knit relationship unraveled. Broner openly admitted that their bond had weakened, believing that Davis eventually grew disappointed in him, which led to the awkward and distant connection they share today. Broner's reflections reveal a genuine sadness over the lost friendship they once cherished.
Like right now, me and Tank, it's weird because he loved me to death. I love him to death. But we don't talk every day how we used to. Nigga, it used to be a time where you ain't see me without Tank, or you ain't see Tank without me. But what happened was, I think what happened was, he just like, damn, bro. I feel like he look up to me so much. It's like, I let him down. Cause cause he's somebody that really know, like, what I can do and how good I am. And it's like, he feel like, man, you tripping. You know what I mean?
Broner candidly acknowledged that he lacked the resources and connections needed to fully propel Davis's blossoming career to its highest potential. Understanding this limitation, Broner made the selfless decision to introduce Davis to Floyd Mayweather, genuinely believing it was the best move for Davis's future. "I didn't have everything, that's why I gave Tank to Floyd," Broner explained, underscoring his intention to put Davis's success above his own pride.
I brought him to the gym with an AB shirt on. But I didn't have everything right yet. I didn't. Everything wasn't moving yet. I was a little slow on my feet. So I gave him the floor. And every time we bring it up, Floyd like, "Thank you, AB. You gave me a good one."
Does that feel like a win for About Billion's Promotions as well?
Of course, because at the end of the day, I don't care who promotes Gervonta Davis. I'm still going to support him. Same way. He's a little brother for me.
Tank been around us since he was like 17, 16. Adrien was already famous on TV and everything. He wrote him on the internet. Twin didn't even know him. Blew him out, let him live with him.
Yeah.
Under Floyd Mayweather's mentorship, Gervonta Davis achieved remarkable milestones, solidifying his place as a top-tier boxer. Yet, their professional relationship was far from smooth. Multiple reports suggest that Mayweather was often openly critical of Davis's performances, sometimes voicing his dissatisfaction publicly. This increasingly strained dynamic played a key role in Davis's eventual decision to part ways with Mayweather Promotions, as he sought greater autonomy and control over his own career path.
Tank vents out on social media. He's been through a lot, throughout his life. But I take my hat off to him. I'm proud of him. Saturday night we had a game plan, and a lot of times when he says certain things on social media, I say, he's to me he's still a kid, and when I was that age, I probably would have did the same thing. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, about what's right and what's wrong. He got the job done, but my hat off to Ryan Garcia. Tough competitor, tough fighter, and the best man won.
The recent showdown between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. concluded in a highly controversial majority draw. A pivotal moment unfolded in the 9th round when Davis unexpectedly took a knee after a sharp jab from Roach Jr. Normally, such an action would be ruled an official knockdown, but the referee chose not to penalize Davis, allowing the fight to continue without any interruption. This moment has since become a focal point of heated debate.
What if Tank Davis is a fraud, right? Let's just put it out there. What if he's a fraud? I know what you guys are thinking. Jerry, stop it. You're hating. There's no way. You don't know that. I don't know that. We've never seen him fight a B-level fighter. Mario Barrios, these guys aren't B-level. Frank Martin ain't B-level guys. Stop the bullshit. There's always a thought in the back of my head, right? And I don't think Tank is a fraud. I would pick him over Devin Haney, a guy I'm really high on still after the Ryan Garcia situation, and Vasily Lomachenko, a guy I'm still high on at this old age. But we really don't know. There's really no evidence backing that he could beat Devin Haney or Lomachenko. Everything about Tank is just assuming he's going to be able to step up and fight an A-level guy. He's never even fought a B-level guy. He's never even unified. Like, not only is he fighting these low-level guys, but he's not looking the most impressive doing so. I mean, Frank Martin, he was arguably down to. He was down against Rolly Romero. He was down against Mario Barrios. Even Isaac Cruz was a very close fight, a 7-5 fight. And yes, of course, he's getting the knockout against, most of these guys. I'm not going to sit here and argue that. But we got to admit, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, they're going to be a lot harder to knock out than Mario Barrios, than Leo Santa Cruz. We got to admit this. So what happens if the knockout doesn't present itself? It's safe to assume Tank is going to be down tremendously on the scorecards. Like I said, I don't think Tank is going to get exposed or nothing. Like, he's not going to be an elite fighter when he steps up in competition, but it's something in the back of my mind. What if Tank is just a B-level guy? What if he's just a guy who's been beaten on seeing D-level guys and he's really...
The referee's failure to count Davis's knee as a knockdown enraged fans and boxing experts alike, who argued that this critical oversight significantly influenced the final result. Many believe that Roach was unjustly stripped of a rightful victory. Allegations quickly spread, with some accusing Davis's camp and the officiating authorities of manipulating the outcome. Commentators Andrew Schultz and Charlemagne openly discussed the controversial decision, asserting that if the knockdown had been properly scored, Roach would have emerged as the clear winner. Their conversation reignited concerns about the integrity of officiating within the sport.
Won this fight. When the fight was over, the first thing I said was, it's either going to be a draw or it's going to be a close decision to Lamont Roach. If they call this knee a knockdown, which they should have.
They should have.
A knee in boxing should count as a knockdown. It is what it is. We're not going to sit here and act like it's not. He wins that fight.
Yeah. Look at his confidence, though. He's stalking Gervonta.
I'm going to tell you when his confidence went through the roof. After Gervonta took that knee and then went to his corner, Gervonta came back with a flurry. And Gervonta was landing.
And Lamont handled it all.
Handled it. After that, I was like, oh, Lamont ain't scared at all. Look at this. It's in the 6th round.
But look at his defense. Like, Lamont's defense is absolutely phenomenal. He's always ready to punch back. Look at him phenomenal.
And Tank was hitting him hard.
Yeah.
Look at Roach's face at the end of the fight. He's swollen.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Tank wasn't landing on him.
Nah, this kid can both of them.
Roach
This
is tough, man. And then it's the whole Maryland, D.C. thing. Like, Roach can't get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? He get knocked out. I got to go back to D.C. He got knocked out by Tank.
Nah, I can't do it.
He fighting for a whole city.
Yeah. And it's really Baltimore, D.C.
Baltimore, D.C.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
The rest of Maryland, nobody's really giving a fuck. That's the real, you know what I mean? Like, if you're from Buckhead or wherever the fuck, what's the, no, not Buckhead.
I don't know.
There's some shit that, like,
no disrespect, Maryland. I only know Baltimore.
it's where all the white people live that work in D.C. but don't want to live there.
Oh, you talk
So
about
PG
where
County?
no, you talking about where that fucking where the resort is. Oh, I know exactly. I was just there. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember right now.
Anyway.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But we've had two very high-level boxing matches in the last few weeks. The Beterbiev and Bivol fight and this one. Like, this is boxing at its best.
It's at its fucking best. It's make you love the sport.
It
man.
really does.
And this is why boxing is a great sport, because it's so unpredictable.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, it was something about Roach's confidence that was like, made me feel like, oh, Roach gonna be all right in that fight.
Look at that. Look at that. These guys are in a phone booth.
Good boxing, man.
Both of them, yeah. Like,
Good boxing.
I want to watch this
During that contentious 9th round, Davis later explained that he took a knee due to irritation in his eye, claiming hair grease was the cause. However, Roach Jr. expressed strong skepticism about this excuse, questioning how Davis could suddenly be affected without showing any signs of discomfort earlier in the fight. Roach emphasized that regardless of whether it was sweat, grease, or another irritant, a fighter cannot simply pause the bout for relief or retreat to their corner for assistance. His doubts cast further shadows over the legitimacy of Davis's actions in the ring.
You know, obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
right. But you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. You know how many Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. Right. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like, who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Respected boxing trainer Greg Hackett has voiced significant concerns about the potential for a rematch between Davis and Roach Jr. Hackett believes Roach would approach a second fight with relentless determination, aiming to secure a definitive and undisputed victory. Conversely, Hackett suggested that Davis might hesitate to agree to another 12-round war, possibly due to doubts about whether he could withstand Roach Jr.'s aggressive pace and pressure. Hackett's perspective highlights the psychological chess match fighters and their teams must navigate when considering high-stakes rematches.
On another draw. Bet on the draw.
Yeah.
It's the best way to go. Bet on the draw. That's where I think you make the money. I think what they gonna do is they gonna even the odds so big, so crazy, you ain't gonna make no money betting on either one of them individually.
Yeah.
So the money gonna be on the odds. That's just what I think. It ain't come out yet, but if they fight in Vegas and they fight, and to be honest, I don't like that. Fight in Vegas. Bring it back on over to the East Coast. I don't like that.
The DMV makes sense.
I don't like how that smells. Something about the smell when you said Vegas. I don't like how that sounds.
I know a lot of people don't realize that, like, no camp is perfect.
Yeah.
I quote when Gervonta was dealing with some stuff ahead of the fight, like some serious shit. Now,
yeah,
no excuse. Lamont put on a great show, but I'm curious to see what is he going to look like with his plate being clean now.
Right. I think, honestly, it don't matter whether he going through something or not. You know why? He respects Lamont, and we seen it. And I'm not just saying that because of how Lamont did. I'm talking about you really could see Tank had a lot of respect for Lamont. I got them starting off from the last fight, round 13, going right back into it. And it's going to be a rumble.
So you feel like because of how the first fight went, there's not going to be no filling out, they just going to jump right into it and get busy?
Yeah, because what Lamont knows is if I don't win convincingly, if I don't knock him out, or if I don't beat the shit out of him, they not gonna give it to me. Tank know I can't go another 12 again, cause they gonna really say I have been exposed. That's one of the famous words. He's exposed. He exposed them. You know what I mean? That's the shit everybody say now. So Tank not trying to hear that neither. So Tank gonna be looking to really go in there seek and destroy, but Lamont gonna be on the scene.
Before this controversy erupted, Davis's options for blockbuster fights had begun to dwindle. However, the disputed result with Roach Jr. has reignited massive interest in a rematch, offering Davis an ideal opportunity to confront the controversy head-on and re-establish his dominance in the division. A rematch would not only allow Davis to silence his critics but could also serve as a springboard to future headline bouts against other elite opponents, potentially reshaping the narrative of his career.
It's kind of running out of available options for meaningful fights that look realistic in the here and now, right? He tried to fight Lomachenko. Loma said he didn't want to fight, so that fell out the window in 2024. Maybe it can be revisited. Rayo just lost to Gary Antoine Russell. I was looking at Rayo as a possible Tank foe. We do know that Team Tank reached out to Team Rayo at a point. So fast forward to the future. Shakur is doing deals with Turkey and Eddie Hearn. Seems like an obstacle. Tank says Eddie Hearn's a snake in a suit, and he doesn't seem to jive well with Turkey. Like he's like, this picture looks like a cult. It looked weird, and he's taking shots at the whole movement. You know what I mean? The whole Saudi stuff. So for me, I think this is great for Tank Davis because now you can rob the bank twice, run it back. Fans feel a type of way, which we'll talk about more. And you get to, like I said, rob the bank twice, run it back, get the clarity that boxing fans want, and then you can worry about the next move. Now, this is funny. I tell you guys all the time, there's a lot of low quality content in the world of boxing, right? The usual suspects, the resistance.
In their initial clash, Roach Jr. delivered an impressive and competitive performance, pushing Davis to his limits and making the fight extremely close. Despite Roach's strong showing, the final scorecards failed to reflect his dominance in several key rounds, raising suspicions that Davis's star power and pay-per-view appeal may have subtly influenced the judges' decisions. This situation has reignited long-standing debates about scoring bias and the sway that marketability can hold over official outcomes. The controversy surrounding the Davis vs. Roach Jr. fight has sparked wider discussions about fair play, officiating standards, and the complexities involved in staging rematches. As the boxing community eagerly watches for further developments, both fighters' legacies continue to unfold in the ever-unpredictable landscape of the sport.
Disciplined footwork. You never saw him lunging in. You never saw him lunging in. He was never able to time him. Gervonta, that is. He was never able to time Roach. He edged his way forward. It was discipline personified. That is what you need to do against a counterpunch. You can't make mistakes, you can't overcommit. And that is what Roach did. I also thought Roach was great with the left hook. The left hook landed pretty well. And we saw Gervonta taking a lot more clean shots than we've seen in recent fights. I mean, he really was doing really well. And it was up close as well. It was up close. He worked really well on the inside, Roach. And he was punching on the turn as well. So when Gervonta was trying to, use lateral movement and pivot out, Roach would follow him around and keep throwing punches. And that was really good as well because, you know, when a counterpuncher or when anybody is on the move like that, it's extremely hard for them to counter you. So that is when you can commit a little bit more. And there were moments in the fight when Gervonta was in front of him with a high guard and Roach was throwing 3-4 punch combinations. Most of them weren't landing, but you'd get the third shot in or the fourth shot in. And overall, I just felt like it was a great game plan from Roach. I really did. And I have to be honest, during the fight, mid-rounds, I was like, okay, I expect it to start slipping away from now. I'd sort of almost built this narrative in my head of what I normally see with a Tank Davis fight. And before the fight, I was saying, you know, first few rounds, expect Roach to probably rack up a few points. Gervonta will start to work him out, down the information, and then he'll start timing him. But as it went on, it just didn't happen. It just never came. And Roach rolled on, and he did such a good job. And I think that, look, I'm giving Roach all the credit here. It was close regardless. This was a close fight. He didn't win all the rounds. There were moments where Gervonta was having a little more success than landing those shots to the body, landing clean punches.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and let us know your thoughts in the comments.